weren't just kids, they were girls. 3 girls under the age of 8, and he's walking around in his boxer brief underwear thinking he's the shit, and here I am on the outs with people that I considered family no longer speaking to me, and they probably killed my dog, and somehow that's supposed to just be okay.
What's going on, everyone? It's Devin. This is a new show. We're calling it Air It Out. And the basis of it is just going to be I bring someone on, they tell whatever they have going on in their life. And this is our first guest. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. Ran across Devin, of course, on Threads, which I totally don't understand. The concept of Threads, they're so confusing, but just kind of intrigued me, the idea of I don't free therapy, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Not a just so everyone know, I'm not a therapist.
No, not at
I'm
all.
just some
But
random guy.
no, it's all
Um
good.
so yeah, what do you have going on? Explain your situation.
Well, the big thing that you and I had talked about the first time around was basically what a shit show everything is. Can I say that?
Yeah, no, you're good.
The long story short, and if you have questions, I'll happily answer. I had people in my life that I considered family for about 10 years, and they decided to move back to North Carolina and invited me to go with them. And I'm like, okay, Arizona's hot. Never been to North Carolina. That'd be cool. My son is kind of off doing his own thing, and I'm not needed as much. Um, and I had this dog who I can't see, who is, for all intents and purposes, a wackadoodle. He's a pit mix, um, very not scary, but he's special. We got very bonded. He was very bonded to me. If you looked at me funny, he would try to, yeah, don't look at my mom that way. I'm going to get you. He wasn't aggressive, but he was fear aggressive, I guess is what I've been told. And they knew that going in. They knew that Tanner, that was his name, needed a lot of extra time to get to know people and not be such a freak show. They have 4 children under the age of 8. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to move down there. I'm all about adventures. But we need to make sure that this is going to be okay. Oh yeah, we got you. We'll figure it out. We'll do everything, blah, 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 blah. So I moved. I packed up everything. I left Arizona and with my dog and my cat, and things were okay. We kept him in my room with a gate, not with the door closed, but just with the gate so he could participate and get used to things. And a couple of incidences did happen because their girls are very non-disciplined, should I say? But
I
everything
know
was
a lot of
okay.
people like that. It's rough.
Yeah, like they're great kids. I love them dearly. But yeah, you say don't do that, and they say, "Oh, how many times can I do that before I actually get in trouble?"
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and everything was great. The dynamic between me and my chosen family was amazing. It was everything that I needed at that point in my life. And this was back. I moved to North Carolina in January. This January. Um, and about probably 4 months in, there was an incident with one of the girls. Tanner did bite her. She reached into my room over the gate to shut my door. No warning, no nothing. And Tanner was like, "What are you doing?" And he freaked out because he's a dog and that's what they do sometimes. It wasn't bad. He did puncture her arm, but nobody wanted to do anything about it. No hospital, no ER, no nothing. That we'll wash it, we'll bandage it, and don't worry about it. Okay. So that happened, and that was really crappy, I admit. Um, but it was worked out, I guess. Everybody still loved Tanner. Everybody still came in to play with him and talk to him and whatever. And then about a month before the incident really happened that I'm really still trying to struggle with, um, they were a lesbian couple, okay? And they decided that they needed to bring a man into the mix. Okay. Not what I signed up for. But so like I was like, okay, you guys do you. It's fine. I don't care. But then they moved him in. And I'm like, what the heck is okay. And this man took over everything. I found out after he moved in that he was an ex-con. He just got out of prison. She's known him all her life, apparently, but he was selling drugs out of the house to pay for his lawyer that he went to prison for drugs. So super stand-up guy, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, super, super stand-up guy. And then I have some physical things that I'm dealing with. I have a what they call a colloid cyst in the third ventricle of my brain. It's basically a benign brain tumor. Screws with me exponentially every day. I get dizzy, I get migraines, I pass out, all the things. And one on the 28th of May, I had a really, really bad episode. Up until this point, nothing had happened for 2 months. My best friend's wife, girlfriend would still come in, talk to Tanner, play with Tanner, roughhouse with Tanner, everything, take care of him when I needed. I couldn't get out of bed, all the things. Everything was fine. I go to the ER on May 28th. I tried to get them to get me out of my room before the EMTs got there because I knew Tanner would try to do something. Well, sure enough, he
Yeah.
hungry, hungry hippoed out from under the bed and was like, "No, you're touching my mom," and like totally grazed one of the EMT's boots. No harm done. Messed up his boot a little, whatever. And then he went back under the bed, like, "Okay, mom, I tried. Sorry, you're SOL at this point." And then I go to the ER. And the next morning, I get a message from not my best friend, but her girlfriend, who I've gotten really close to, apologizing up and down, saying she's so sorry. She doesn't know really what's going on with me, and this was like at 10:30 in the morning. But she needed to let me know that animal control came to pick up Tanner to put him down because of the bite that he tried to give the EMT. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Huh? But nothing happened.
Uh, so like, who called animal control? Was it the?
Well, see, there's the thing. I'm sitting in this hospital room. They actually admitted me. I was there for 3 days. So I'm sitting there for 3 days going, what the hell happened to my dog? What is happening? What is going on? Nobody would talk to me after that. They totally like cut me off. I'm in the hospital all by myself. And I called animal control and I'm like, I need to know what happened with my dog. And they're like, we don't have your dog. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have my dog? And they got me some information from me. Where do I live? What happened? Oh, well, we did get a phone call from a guy named Tom that said they had an aggressive dog here that needed to be picked up, but he couldn't give us. So they said that a guy named Tom had called, and they couldn't give him. He didn't have any of my information. The dog was obviously at the house, and they're like, "Sorry, we can't do anything." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he called. He tried to get him picked up. That didn't work, but I still don't have a dog. So I finally get out and they actually come get me. And I'm just like, okay, y'all need to talk to me and tell me what happened, what is going on. We've already told you everything we can tell you. Animal control came and picked him up. We don't know what else you want. You're being really aggressive and you're making us defensive. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
how else
man.
to be right now.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so I was like, "Look, I called animal control. I called the other 2 animal controls that are around Fayetteville. Nobody has Tanner. And at the very least, there would be a paper trail. They would have come and got him. They would have gotten y'all's information. They would have gotten IDs from anybody in the house. They would have created a case. They would have had a hearing. They would have done quarantine for 10 days minimum. They don't have my dog. Nobody will talk to me. So I I called my son back in Arizona and I said, okay, I got to get out of here because I don't feel safe. Tom at this point was smirking at me and glaring at me and threatening me and looking at my cat like he was the next fun toy he was going to play with. And I'm like, I got to go. Um, so my son flew down to do all the thing and we drove back, cried the whole entire 3 days it took me to get back home, and I called the cops. I called police station, and well, I did that before. Actually, I talked to a cop before we left. I talked to him that morning, and he was like, "Yeah, this sounds really bad. I'm at least going to put in a case for you. A detective will call you. At the very least, North Carolina treats pets as property, and it sounds like they did something." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." So I get back to Arizona. Detective calls me, gets my side of the story, and he's like, "So do you have any proof?" And I'm like, I don't have a dog anymore. Like, and I know that they lied because animal control doesn't have him. And they won't talk to me anymore. They cut and deleted the ring camera footage that we had on the house. Jessica told me that she deleted it because it was very traumatic and she had to pick Tanner up physically and put him in the truck because he was scared and shaking and she didn't want me to see that. But I have paw prints, a nose print, his collar, all of these things because she knew that that would be important to me. Okay. Then they tell the detectives finally that yes, they lied. Animal control didn't come get him, but they knew that if they told me the truth that he ran away, that I would like freak out and just go looking for him until I found him. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's how that works. But they apparently Tom took him out to go to the bathroom, and he got out of his collar and ran away, and they just let him go. And I'm like, "But okay, if that happened, why do I have a paw print? Why do I have a nose print? What the fuck?" And
Yeah.
now they're filing harassment charges against me, blocked me from everything, an 11-year friendship gone because they decided to take care of their problem while I was in the hospital. And it's been almost 3 months.
And they haven't talked to you since?
Nope. I tried to get, the police involved again, and they said there's no proof. I don't have any proof that they did anything. If he was a bite hazard and he got out and ran away and they didn't go after him, he's like, "Would you go after a dog that was like that?" And I was like, yeah, because I'm a decent fucking human being." I was like, "Look, dude," I go, what if you had me pet sitting your dog, right? And then you come home and then I'm like, "Oh, well, he got out of his collar and he ran. Sorry." They could have asked me to leave. I could have moved back to Arizona with my dog and my cat and been perfectly fine. But they chose to do something, lie about it, and truth be told, he probably is gone, but I don't know. I have no clue.
So so they lied and said that that the dog was in an animal shelter, or
Yeah,
like
they
that
lied
was
that
like their
yeah,
first kind of.
that was the first one. They said that animal control came and got him because the EMT that he grazed his boot reported it. But there's no paper, there's no case number for me to follow up on, nothing. And I confronted Tom about it and I said, "Okay, so let me at least have the paperwork, so I can deal with this." He's like, "Paperwork? What are you talking about?" And I go, "Well, I talked to animal control. They said they don't have him, but if they did, this, and this would absolutely 1 billion% have to happen, or I could sue them and be a bajillionaire." So they follow the letter of the law 100%. "I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I don't have any paperwork." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Okay, so you're lying." And I was deemed aggressive and irrational, and they couldn't deal with me anymore. And I was like, well, you guys created this situation. I'm just trying to find out what happened to my dog. And this guy, this dog, like, I'm a cat person. I don't even really like dogs that much. I think they're great, but I, this dog got into my very soul. And I can't, I'm surprised you didn't call me and go, hey, I heard about how much you love your dog. You want to talk about it? Because everybody freaking knows what this dog means to me, you know?
Yeah.
And I have no closure. I'm probably never going to get closure unless there's some he's chipped. So if they did not hurt him and he did run away, because the funny thing is that if Tanner got out of his collar, which I tightened, by the way, because he did get out once, he would immediately run back to the front door, because outside for Tanner is very scary. He doesn't like being outside.
Yeah,
He he's
I
up
know a lot of dogs do that.
Yeah. He's upset that he has to
They'll
go
come
outside to
home.
go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's upset every time I had to take him out. He's like, I would really rather not, I'll just hold it for the rest of my life. I don't need to go outside. But if he got out, he would immediately go to the front door or the side door. And the only way that he would run away is if they were like yelling and screaming and throwing shit at him. But if there was an accident and he got out, why do I have paw prints and a nose print and all those things? So something's not
Yeah.
right. Something's not okay.
Was he like a bigger, like big dog, or kind of?
No, because he was a pit blue heeler mix. So he was kind of solid. He was probably 58, 60 pounds. Um, but he
Okay,
wasn't, and he
I
was,
had a dog about that size.
yeah, and he was fast. Like, I'm not that hungry hippo out from under the bed trying to get the EMT was hilarious. If I wasn't in so much pain at the time, I would have like, oh my God, that was funny. Um, but he was scared of everything, and he would attack sometimes if he thought that he was protecting me. Um, but he was the best dog, and he was everything. And I don't it's beyond me that I actually know people that could do something like that.
Oh yeah.
You know?
No,
Ask me to
it,
leave. I will leave.
it
Just ask me
definitely
to leave.
sounds like they did something. Um,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, what they do. It's more with cats because you can transport them easier, but some people will just take them out in the desert and drop them off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, which is unfortunate. You
Yeah.
know, shelters will take them in, and as long as it's a no-kill shelter, it's fine.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, yeah, the best case scenario would be that if they had done that, the dog found someone. I mean, usually people would take the dog somewhere to get checked. You said it's chipped, right?
He is chipped. My biggest fear with that though is like, because he is so scared of everything, like it would take a full-blown miracle of miracles for him to go, I see that person over there. They could probably help me, but no, I'm gonna stay right here because I'll trust that. So I don't even know that he would reach out for help if he saw somebody, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't know. But I'm the crazy one because I tried to get answers.
Yeah, no, it sounded like they kind of wanted you and the dog gone, and they just didn't
Yeah.
care how. And
No.
they saw you not being at the house as like an opportunity, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I just I just don't know. I don't get it. I for myself, I cry like every day. I miss him every day, and it's not getting better because I don't have that closure. I don't, if they would just be like, and then if they did talk to me, like say they decided to call me like later and be like, "Hey, we want to tell you the truth." I'd be like, "Do you?" Like, what if they did tell me exactly what they did? What if they did put a bullet in his head? Why would I believe that? So now I'm just stuck
Yeah.
here forever.
And they knew you went to the police, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all the more reason for them to not. ever tell you the truth, because that's proof. Then it's them admitting something.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. I even told him at one point, I was like, look, I go, you guys can even call me. I don't know how to record phone calls on my phone. I'm cell phone illiterate. I just need to know out of some sort of, respect of the 10, 11-year friendship that we had. Can you just be honest with me? No.
Yeah, and they knew that the dog was important to you,
Yeah.
and that was like their only way that they could hurt you, get you to leave, anything like
Hmm.
that. It's unfortunate. I mean, people just be honest.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I
And
don't want
all,
you here.
yeah. And all of this happened because of a low life ex-con drug dealer. That
Yeah,
that's what I'm
no,
looking at, basically.
because how
They
long were
chose
you there before him?
I mean, I was only there, but when he moved in, we were at like month 5. I was only there 6 months.
That's
Um,
still a decent amount of time.
yeah, it's a decent amount of time. We had all these plans. We had like, we did the popsicle stick in a jar with all these places we wanted to take the kids and travel and do these things. And we were looking for a house. We were going to move. They didn't want to stay in North Carolina. They wanted to move like to maybe like Henderson, Nevada, so we could be closer to my family and their family. All of Rachel's family lives in California. And then all of a sudden, here's Tom. And now all the plans that we made, well, we have to wait for Tom to get home. Well, we're going to do that. Well, what's Tom doing? Well, we can't leave now because Tom's mom lives here and we can't leave Tom's mom. And I'm like, I,
How old is this guy?
he's okay. So, okay. Blah, you didn't ask me. So I'm going to tell you, I'm 52. My best friend, Rachel, bleh, I met her when was going through divorce, went back to school. She's 20 years younger than me. So she's 30 now. Um, Tom, I think, is like 28. I know he's younger than her, but not by much. But this is a man who, like, the last 2 weeks that I was there, walked around in his underwear, did the total like Fayetteville white trash, um, leather sectional on the carport side outside. He would go out in his underwear to smoke his cigarettes and yell and scream at the kids all the time. That's what he did. He yelled and cussed and screamed and belittled and all these wonderful things. And he's still there and I'm not. And I don't have a dog. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, just from that description, it sounds like he would be the kind of person to do something like that. It
Yeah. Yeah.
anyone out there who walks around outside in your underwear
I know,
as an
right?
adult, that's only okay for children. Um,
Yeah.
28 years old.
Mhm.
I don't even think I did that as a kid.
I know, right? And then they got mad because they at one point they did say something to me after I left, saying that they weren't ever going to talk to me again because I called CPS on them and I put their children's lives in danger. And I was like, okay, I should have called CPS. I didn't, but everybody that I talked to in that neighborhood when I was looking for Tanner was like, we don't like that guy. And if he's gonna go outside in his underwear and then yell and scream at the kids, I'm surprised I didn't get multiple calls for CPS. But CPS showed up after
Yeah.
I left and they thought it was me. And I was like, no, because I just want my dog. I want to know what happened to my dog. I feel bad for the kids because they're so not healthy. The 6-year-old is in therapy right now. 6 years old, in therapy, cannot deal with her life.
See, it's good. It's good that the 6-year-old is in therapy, but it sucks that that has to happen. Especially, like, it's
Yeah.
not going to get better. I
No.
mean, to your knowledge, is he still around, or
As far as I know, I don't have any reason to believe he's not, but I don't know. I don't go looking for them. I'm blocked on everything. I tried to talk to Rachel's mom at one point, that she's in California, and she was like, yeah, we're not happy about everything either. We don't like Tom. We think he's bad news, but Rachel won't talk to us, so we can't do anything. And I'm like, cool. So cops won't do anything. Parents won't do anything. And this is why we have criminals, because they can just get away with everything.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, especially the fact that he had a record, right? Like a bad.
Yeah, he was in prison.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, I know the whole like, oh, just because they're out of,
yeah.
they were in
Mm-hmm.
prison. No, there's a reason.
Yeah,
Did he have
exactly.
face tattoos? Did he have face tattoos?
Uh, I tried really hard not to look at him a whole lot. I don't think so. He did have a couple of
That's a
tattoos,
shock.
but I don't think he did. I don't think he had any on his face, no.
That's a
But
shock.
when I first met him, even before he moved in, he had just come by to say hi to everybody. And have you ever like had somebody walk into a room and you're just like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, I felt
Yeah.
that, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like this guy." And then they were like, "Yeah, he's gonna move in, and we're gonna be a throuple, and we're gonna be all happy and in love." And I'm like, "Okay, that's good for you." And then everything, like the dishes weren't being done. There were the kitchen looked like a hoarders convention. There were flies everywhere. The kids would go to school in their pajamas because they didn't have clean clothes.
The school didn't do anything. Well, nowadays kids
I don't know.
fucking do that anyways. But
I know.
back
I
when
don't
I
know.
was in school, not that long ago, but back when I was in school, you'd show up at PJ's, you called in the principal's office, they call your parents, they might
Yeah.
call CPS.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Where are your
What's
clean
going on?
clothes?
Yeah. They would have before he moved in, Jess would she was like the queen of the house. She ran everything. She took care of everything. She cooked meals. She did all the things. And then he moved in. Well, we need more money, so you have to get a job. He would go literally sell drugs and then bring home McDonald's for the kids to eat. They ate McDonald's like
So he was
five.
actively selling.
Oh, yeah, he had drugs in the laundry room, which was okay because the drugs were the laundry room was outside of the house, so the kids couldn't get into it.
Was it
So I don't know why my light
locked
keeps
or
doing
could somebody take that?
that.
Somebody go in there and take that?
I mean, I I went in there one time when everybody was gone. I couldn't find it, so he found a really good hidey hole. I don't know where he
They're good
had
at that.
them.
They're
Yeah,
good at that.
so but I don't know. But he went out. He would work. He worked a full-time job with his uncle. And then he would come home, change his clothes, take his 16-year-old brother with him with their guns and their dog and go either pick up drugs or go sell them. So he wasn't even just doing this by himself. He was taking a 16-year-old child with him
Of course.
to show him
That's
how this works.
yeah, that's their lifestyle. I mean, to them that's like working
Yeah.
at McDonald's and selling drugs.
Right? Yeah.
Um how far out of prison was he? Like how long was he out
Um,
before?
I don't know for sure. I know that like the first time he showed up, I had only been there for like 3 months, and then he moved in like 2 months later. So I don't know exactly.
Did
Not
they
long, probably.
ask you like your opinion on it or just hey,
No.
he's fucking moving in?
Yeah, he's just moving in because I wasn't on the lease. I was there in strictly like a family capacity. I had talked to them before I moved down. I filed for disability in March because I've got like that thing in my head. I've got other things that I just can't. I can't. And I talked to them. I was like, hey, this is what I'd really like to do. It's a long process. It's a thing. No, we got you. We got you. You're here. We're going to take care of everything. We're going to take care of you. We're going to do this. I'm like, I mean, I can help. I can DoorDash when I can. I can, as soon as 10 years from now when disability kicks in, I'm happy to help with rent or whatever, but no, we got you. And then towards the end, it was like, you know, we're glad you and your mean dog are gone. You wouldn't even work to help out, and you wouldn't even do that." And I'm like, "What?" It's not even them talking anymore, you know? Just this,
Yeah, it's
you know? And I'm like, I just want my dog back. I just
yeah. I
I
mean,
would get on
there's
a
the hope
plane.
that he's still out there. Someone has him, maybe just hasn't taken him in for to check for the
Yeah.
chip.
Yeah.
Um, how does that? I've only really had cats. My parents had
Mhm.
dogs.
Mhm.
We never had an animal run away. How does it work if your dog has a chip or cat has a chip or something?
Well,
Do they
yeah,
have your
when they're
contact
yeah, it
information?
has contact information. You can take them to a vet, you can take them to the fire station, you can take them to the police station, animal control shelters, and they'll scan them, and then their program pops up, and it'll have my name, my address, my phone number, secondary contact information if they can't get a hold of me, all the things. And as long as you keep it updated, if if you change your phone number, make sure you go in and change that information so they can actually get a hold of you. And it just somebody needs to do that. But then, he could
Yeah,
have he could have killed him. He could have sold him into a fighting ring because dog fighting is really big in Fayetteville, apparently. That terrifies the shit out of me.
I didn't know that
Um,
was real.
I
I thought
know,
that was
right?
movies.
Mm-mm. No, it's a real thing. And Tanner would probably do all right, fortunately. He did take down a German Shepherd at my old apartment complex once. Took him down. Like, nope, this is my sidewalk. You can't do that. Because the German Shepherd was off leash and he came running up, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. Because Tanner didn't like other dogs, but he was on a leash at least, and it was bad. It was bad. So he could probably do pretty well in a fighting ring, unfortunately. Um, but he was such as messed up as he was such a sweet soul. Like, he would come up to me and he would stare into oh my God, I can feel it. And then he would like just put his paw on me and just like, can you just hold my paw? Like, that's all I want. And I would like sit there for like hours holding his paw. And the last picture that I took was 2 days before I lost him. And I was laying in my bed and he was 100% on top of me, laying on top of me, no part of him touching the bed, with his head right here, drooling and snoring. And that was his happy place.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I've always had cats. I've always loved cats, but
Mm-hmm.
dogs, they kind of they're more like they act like people. They act like their owner.
Yeah.
They're better at connecting with
Mm-hmm.
people. Cats just they're kind of like roommates.
Yeah.
Um, so it sucks losing a dog. It sucks, especially not having the closure. I mean,
Yeah.
I've uh I've had a lot of pets die, but and you have
Mm-hmm.
closure, and you have
Yeah.
their ashes or whatever. You
Yeah.
could tangibly see that they're gone, but not knowing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just wrong, especially over something minor. I mean, in reality, it's minor.
Yeah.
Just a
It
minor
is.
issue.
Mm-hmm.
Did the dog even ever attack him, or like
No.
did he have any reason to not like the dog other than just being annoyed? I guess.
He ignored Tanner. He would walk by and Tanner would growl, and because dogs are usually pretty good judge of characters too. But he never rushed the gate at him. He never did anything, never nothing. And I know that Tom didn't like me because I have a really hard time. Like, a lot of people are so good. Like, if I didn't like you, most people could be like, oh, well, I'm going to pretend I like you and I'm going to get through this and, whatever, keep my feelings to myself. I saw a shirt one time that said, I can't lie because my face would just give it away anyway. And that's me. I can't. So whenever he would do something that I didn't think, walking around your underwear, and I'm like, "Hey, can you maybe put some clothes on? Bro, there's daughters." Like, they weren't just kids, they were girls. 3 girls under the age of 8, and he's walking around in his boxer brief underwear thinking he's the shit, and they don't need to see that. I'm 52 years old, I didn't need to see that, you know? And he knew I didn't like him, so this was just a, "Hey, she's in the hospital, she can't do anything about this? Cool."
I mean,
So,
do you think that anyone else knew, like, if he had done something, do you think that he did it with any of the other people, or that they knew, or he kind of just took it upon
the
himself?
I according to things that I have been told, Rachel, who is the best friend that I've known forever, was at work, and Jessica Tanner loved Jessica. He
There you go.
um he trusted her. She was one of the few people in the house that he trusted. Um and I believe that something happened that morning, that Tom and Jessica did something, because I do have the paw print, I do have the nose print, and I don't think anybody but Jessica could get that unless he was already gone when they did.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It sounds like they'd have to at least know.
yeah. Yep. So, that's my doggy story.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. People just they're allergic to confrontation. So surprising, honestly, because he was in prison. You think
Yeah,
they'd be
right?
good at confrontation.
Mhm.
Uh, but if he's
Yeah.
in prison for selling drugs, they're either always in fights or pussies. So
Yeah. Well, he did make mention one time to me that he had connections in Fayetteville, so I had better watch my back. That was one conversation that we had. So that was cool. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to think that he was all talk. I'd like to think that he couldn't, physically hurt an animal, because he had a dog. He loved his dog. But I don't know. If somebody's causing a problem and you want to get rid of them, you get rid of them.
yeah, I mean, he might have seen it as a means to an end.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I would
no.
have happily
What
left.
what kind of drugs did he sell, if you know?
I know for sure that he had weed. Um, I do also know there was at one point, I was I was doing some deep cleaning in my room, and I have some Percocets that I've had just for me because of my issues, and I've had them like forever. I don't take them if I can help it. Um, and it was like the bottle was like this. It was about that full, and when I found it, it was that full. So they honestly tried to pin it on the little brother. Nobody took response. Oh, we'll talk to Danny. Oh my God, it's so terrible. Um, Never got an answer about that. I just noticed that they were gone. So they probably could have taken those to sell those. It's kind of sad because I know uh, a little bit about prescription drugs. They do have a shelf life, and they probably weren't that great. They probably weren't as potent as they were once when I
Yeah.
first got them. So even if they did steal them from me, they didn't really get a whole lot. Um, you know. So, but they had like everybody vapes now. Whether it's cigarettes or it's a weed vape or whatever. Danny, the 16-year-old that would come over every weekend and just happened to leave it on the couch. And their youngest kid was a boy, 18 months old, has officially vaped 3 more times than I have. and I don't vape. 18-month-old picks it up off of the couch and goes, "Ooh, I know how to suck on things." Actually has vaped. And he was still welcome in the house. He was still welcome to bring his shit over. Nobody did anything to Danny,
That's
you
like a
know?
CPS thing right there alone.
I know. I know. But I guess I did find out that yes, CPS did go, but nothing happened with that either. Because,
Yeah, a lot of times they don't
you
do
know,
much.
no. But
They'll come
it's
over,
sad.
they'll take a look. I mean, there's
Mhm.
people on TikTok who should not have kids at all, and they
Yes.
still have kids because they give
Yeah.
you a heads up. You clean
Mhm.
up, do whatever, you get rid of
Yeah.
whatever you have to.
Mhm. Yeah. It's it's bad. It's bad, bad, bad. Yeah. Not a great situation, and I'm happy to be out of it, but I would have been really super cool if they'd have been like, "Hey, you know what? You and Tom aren't getting along, and we're gonna see where this goes with him. So we're really sorry that, we moved you all the way across the country, but it's just not working out." I would have been like, "Wow, y'all are dumb. Good luck." And I would have came back home with both my animals intact. But I wasn't given that option. Wasn't given that option.
Yeah, no, people,
Um,
especially criminals, they'd way rather commit a crime, clearly, than do anything an adult would do. Sell
yeah.
drugs instead of like getting a job, making more
Mhm.
money,
Yep.
rob a place instead of getting a job.
Yeah.
A lot of You said he had a job?
Yeah, he did, I guess, landscaping or construction with his uncle. Worked a
Always.
full-time job.
Always the construction,
I know, right?
landscaping.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he
But,
probably wasn't getting paid a lot.
maybe.
Family family job. Get a better job. Work too.
Right?
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, selling drugs to buy McDonald's, it doesn't sound very lucrative to me,
Yeah.
If he
That's where
was
we're at
buying
in
his,
America.
like
That's where we're at in
yeah,
America.
right? I'm like, if you're bringing home steak dinners every night, I'm like, maybe, okay, I get that. Seriously though, McDonald's, like that's your big score. And why would they want somebody like that? That's what's beyond me. Is that obviously this guy does not have a lot of time. He wasn't helping with rent. He wasn't pitching in for anything. He wasn't babysitting. He wasn't doing anything. And I did so much. I bought the girls beds. I did this. I could sit here and talk for another 2 hours about everything that I did just for their kids. And here I am on the outs with people that I considered family no longer speaking to me, and they probably killed my dog. And somehow that's supposed to just be okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's just bringing him in. I mean, how did they meet this guy?
She apparently like grew up with him. They were childhood friends. They might have gone to school together. I don't know because he is younger than her, but I think maybe they were in the same neighborhood, possibly. I don't know. Not really sure, but been around long enough that
And
her
he
family didn't like him. So
was he brought in as like a father figure for the kids or
I don't
just
really
roommate
know for
type guy?
sure. I know that they were interested in him romantically. Um, the kids no, I can't. Ugh. The kid's dad is not really super involved. He drives truck and he lives somewhere else. He does try to call them all the time and do video chats with them and stuff. He pays buku's of child support because he has 4 kids, it's great. Um, but I, I don't I know that he was brought in as a plaything. Ugh, I'm glad I didn't eat before we did this. Um, But I don't know. But all he ever did was yell and scream. Anytime the girls they did anything wrong or had any kind of emotions, it was a problem. Why are you acting like that? Go to bed, blah, 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 do all the things. And like I remember like the one Salem, she's gonna take over the world one day. Like legitimately. And you're just gonna be like, cool, that's awesome. Because she's like no fear, no nothing, does what she wants. I even asked her one time, I was like, why are you doing that? Do you think that it's just okay for you to do whatever you want? She's like, yeah, because I want to do it. She's like 3. And I'm like, you're scary. But she doesn't ever want to go to bed. She's afraid she's going to miss out on something. She has to talk. I remember one morning, oh my God, it was so hilarious. School morning. She shares a room with one of her older sisters who's 6, the 6-year-old that's in therapy, woke up to marker all over her face. She gave her eyeshadow. She gave her blush. She painted her lips with black marker. Could not she didn't go to school that day because she couldn't. And I'm like, what, why? And she's like, I woke up, I was bored, I found a marker. And the quick fix was putting in like an Alexa or something where they could listen to stories out like lights immediately almost. But nobody thought to do that because they just have to yell and scream at the kids every time they get up and spank the crap out of them. And there were a lot of things that I implemented that I put in place that were better. And they chose him. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, it's the newsflash out there. The thruples don't work, especially when you have kids. I guess it's one thing if you have no kids and you're young or whatever, but like with
Hmm.
kids, and it just confuses them.
It is. It's very confusing. Well, and then the funny thing is that as I was packing up my room to leave, um, they had been fighting and disagreeing on a bunch of stuff, and then Rachel decided that she didn't want to share anymore. That she could sleep with Tom and she could sleep with Jessica, but they couldn't sleep together. And Jessica was moving out of their bedroom and into my room as I was leaving. And I'm like, and you're okay with this? Like, they're totally like, I heard them the other day laughing about how they booted you out of the room and you're just going to be okay with this. So I don't know if he's magic down there or what. I have no clue. But yeah, it was already not working out pretty much. So,
I see TikToks a lot. Any thruple or polyamorous couple, they
mhm.
all look the same. I'm
Yeah,
assuming the same case.
probably. Yeah.
Was
I
he like a
I don't
white skinny guy? Obviously criminal. He already checked that box.
He wasn't super skinny. He did have some frumpiness about him, but yeah, he was a white boy. Yeah.
Like skinny fat or like
I mean like I honest to God tried not to look, but he would walk around without a shirt on all the time and it just looked he looked like he had a dad bod. Like no
okay,
definition, no muscles to, obviously he had something, but it was very covered up.
that fits that fits. That's all the same.
Yeah.
Everyone out there, oh, it's different for us. No,
No.
it's all the same. And
Yeah.
most of them have kids for some reason
Mhm.
like this, and there's always some terrible shit that goes on, and like
Yeah.
this, uh,
Yeah.
he did something to the dog. Clearly,
Yeah.
allegedly, I don't know if there's legal ramifications for this show. I guess technically, allegedly, he definitely did something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they lied, the fact that he lied obviously something happened. Like otherwise he'd say, "Oh, it ran away."
Yeah. Mhm.
We
Yeah.
opened up the door, it ran out. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a
Except
better
that
lie. I don't know why.
I know. Why would you get something like that involved, like animal control, where I mean, did they not they had to know that I would check, you're not just gonna tell me that animal control came in and took my dog to put him down and we're like, "Oh, bummer. Okay." And move on. Like, that's no.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the house that I don't think it would just be a quick like, well, it did something to someone while they were
Mhm.
in your home, so
Yeah.
we're just gonna put it down.
Yep. Nope, that's not how they
Yes.
work. There would be a quarantine to make sure that he didn't have rabies. There would be a case. They would ask me a bunch of questions. There's all these things that animal control has to do to cover their own butts. But they
Yeah.
have proof that he called and they did not come to the house. They did not come to the house. And then they deleted the camera footage so I couldn't see it. And then they changed their story again. And it's just like, Tanner might have bitten Luna, the one of the girls, but it wasn't an aggressive thing. It wasn't a spiteful thing. It was oh, he was protecting me, and I get that. But for them to be like, okay, well, it's not a big deal. We're just gonna we'll put some ointment on it and we'll wrap it and we'll just keep an eye on it. That's how they proceeded with that. I advocated for, maybe we should take her to the hospital. Let's just make sure she's okay. Maybe she might need stitches because he did puncture her. He punctured her with one of his teeth, but they didn't do anything. Let's just be more careful about, when you're in your room. If you bring him out to go to the bathroom, make sure he has his muzzle on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, done, donezo. And then for 2 months, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden I'm putting their children's lives in danger and I don't care and I'm not working and I'm not contributing and I'm not doing all the things and then I go to the hospital, couldn't literally function that day. It felt like my brain it felt like somebody was squeezing my brain while it was trying to get out. It was bad. I couldn't even focus my eyes. It was so bad. And Rachel was like, "Well, I'll take you to the ER." And I'm like, "No." And it was my fault because, and see that, and then I have a lot of guilt there too, because I'm like, "No, because if you don't, let's call an ambulance because if I go into there in an ambulance, I'm going to get more priority and I'm going to get relief faster." The last time I went to the ER, I literally sat in the waiting room for 8 hours. And I was like, please call an ambulance. And then I tried to get Rachel to help me out of my room because I knew that something like that could happen. And she's like, no, we just need to worry about you. Don't worry about it. We're going to handle it. Tanner's under the bed. Don't worry about it. I'm like, but I do worry about it. I need to get out of my room. But I couldn't help myself. So I tried. And it was almost like even that was planned. Like they were just waiting for the opportunity because inevitably I'm going to call because inevitably this thing in my head is going to cause me problems or I'm going to have some other issue. I also like kidney stones. There could have been that, you know, and they're like, oh, she's going to go in an ambulance. Okay, we got it. And it seems like that's just what happened. And it's crazy to think that they literally they were just waiting for an opportunity. It's insane.
Yeah, well, instead of just telling you to leave or something.
Yeah. I could have called my son and said, "Hey, fly down here, help me drive back. I'm out. I gotta figure something else out." But no, they decided that they had every right to take something away from me because that's what they decided that they wanted to do. It makes no sense to me. But
Yeah, no, it's that's unfortunately a lot of the times you can't really make sense of people like that. Oh, people are just dumb. But you kind of just have to take it like there's assholes. There's bad people.
yep,
And it doesn't help. I mean, nothing is gonna change what happened.
Nope. But if I tell you, if one more person says, "Oh, well, you should just get another dog," you could do a podcast with me from jail. Because I'm like, really? That's like the most insensitive thing that you could possibly say to somebody who's grieving over the loss of
Yeah.
a dog. Because he wasn't just a dog. He, like everything in my life, like he, as much as I saved him, there's no way I could repay everything that that dog did for me. No way. And it just,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like I said, he wasn't even supposed to be my dog. He was my son's dog. And then my son moved in with friends and he got into a situation where there were other dogs around and Tanner was confined in his room all the time. And I'm like, that's not really healthy for that. Cause he knew the dogs were downstairs all the time and he was such a high strung dog. Um, it just wasn't healthy. So I ended up taking him and he was so I never thought that my person would have fur, basically. He was my person. He was just really extra furry. And he should still be here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's awful that happened, and hopefully they fucking find some reason to put this guy back in jail where he should be.
I know, right?
Well, if he keeps selling
Yeah.
drugs,
Maybe he'll
probably will be.
be a, maybe he'll try to sell it to a cop or something. Who knows? I don't know.
It's a matter of time.
Mm.
Is weed legal there?
No, tis
Even
not.
worse. I know it's illegal to sell.
I know they have
I
stores.
think.
They have weed stores there, but you have to have a card. You have to have a medical card
Yeah.
to even I think even walk in the door supposedly. And then granted, I could go, I have migraines. Can you write me a note? And I could get a weed card like that. So it's not that hard. But yeah, it's very not legal there. Very not legal. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a horrible situation. I do appreciate you for coming on and telling the story. Hopefully, this helps someone watching. I'm sure this is a common situation,
Yeah. Unfortunately,
somewhat.
I don't I wish that I was special in this regard so nobody else would have to deal with it, but I think you're right. I think people just don't, especially people who don't really deal with consequences, they just think that they can do anything. And this was a perfect example because I even got police involved. They lied. The cop knows they lied and nothing happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, lying is, well, depends, but lying is not a crime in that sense. You'd think
Yeah.
that they'd look into it a little bit more,
Mhm.
uh, depending on the
Yeah.
department. They probably just stretch it thin.
Maybe. It's
And
quite possible.
I guess they didn't have enough proof, physical proof.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I don't know what they could have. I mean, if it was closer to, they probably could have looked into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Neighbors, did it? Was there any close by neighbors?
Well, see, there was, and that was another thing that really bothered me too, because I went everywhere. I was like, okay, if we have a Ring camera, I bet somebody else has a Ring camera too. And then I ended up across the street and I talked to this guy. He was a veteran. He's lived there for a million years. He actually started going through his footage and he's like, yeah, this is just taking forever. And I was like, look, I appreciate you so much. If you see anything, I would appreciate it. He's like, "Oh, absolutely." And we exchanged numbers. And then when I left, like I was equivalently ghosted by this man. He would read my text and then he wouldn't respond at all. So I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if he just decided he didn't want to get involved because maybe he saw the police show up. I don't know if they went over and said something to him. I have no idea. But he disappeared and would not even return my phone calls, nothing. And I'm like, dude, I just need to know if you saw anything because apparently either they put him in a truck and drove him away or he got out of his collar and he ran away. I just need to know. And it was like I was talking to the wind. He wouldn't even respond. So I don't know what happened there either.
Maybe he saw something and or
Yeah,
he decided that, oh, I'll keep this from her.
maybe.
Nobody should
I don't.
know. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I mean, I would rather know if it's something bad
I
than be
would. I mean,
wondering.
it would suck, but at least every there in dating it's different because if you and I went on a date and then you decided to ghost me, well, guess what? Silence is a closure for me because obviously you're not interested anymore. I get it. I don't need to know why. I don't need to know a 12-page paragraph about why you don't want to date me again. But silence and not having answers in a situation like this is not closure because the
Yeah,
door is literally always open.
yeah, there's a million things that could have happened.
Yeah.
The dog could be okay, could not be okay. They could have done something, and you want justice. Like, there's a
Hmm.
million possibilities.
Yeah.
No, it
Yep.
sucks that more people didn't step in and try to help.
Yeah.
At
That,
least figure it out, press them on it.
yeah, but no. No proof. Not it's a time waster. Animals are just property. It didn't he doesn't mean anything to anybody else. So I guess I get that, but it still sucks. Still sucks a lot.
Yeah, no, I feel for you on that. That's
Thank you.
something no one should have to go through.
I agree.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show.
Sure.
We hit the hour.
Awesome.
Hopefully, this was fun to watch, and hopefully, it was fun for you to be on the show and
Yeah.
just talk about it.
Yes, it was very
If
cool.
anyone watching has any information, that'd be fucking crazy. Um,
That would be amazing.
Comment and
I
you know,
I have, a credit card ready for plane tickets and I will be there as soon as humanly possible if anybody finds him. That would be great.
um,
Okay.
but yeah, I appreciate you for coming on, and I appreciate everyone for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, and let me know what you thought of the show and
Awesome.
what I can do different because this is the first episode. So